Tim's kinda dumb, let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim. Hey, welcome. Oh, I
He
fucked up.
forgot. I knew it. Keep it.
Tim's kinda dumb, let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim stuff. Hey, welcome to Time to Teach Tim.
Yes.
We got TJ Francis here.
Hello, my name is also Tim.
Yes. The worst name in comedy, right?
Yes, the worst name in comedy. Also, I love how this was our first try at this, and
Oh,
you
yeah,
definitely
definitely.
didn't fuck up the jingle and know when it ends. So that's good.
Well,
Off to a hot start.
I forget people are teaching me stuff. Because I'm so
You got to
used
teach your own stuff, dude. You got to learn your own stuff. You don't even know your jingle.
I know. I'm a terrible.
Which is fantastic, by the way. Very good guitar work.
Thank you. It's 12 years in the making.
12 years.
That jingle.
I mean, listen, the lessons paid off. Mm-hmm. That was worth it. Shout out mom and dad for the lessons.
Yeah. And Brian O'Connor, actually, that was my bass guitar teacher.
Shout out to BOC. That's what I like to call him.
Yeah, good guy. Taught me in his basement and didn't molest me.
That's
Definitely didn't.
Well, then why is he teaching guitar, right? Like, that's what you should do if you're teaching
I know,
guitar.
right?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
was like, come on, dude. I went there one time, just boxers.
Yeah. I'm not hot enough, dude?
Yeah.
He's like, well, you are, but your name's Tim, so get the fuck out of here.
Worst name in comedy.
Yeah.
So what are you going to teach me today?
So I'm going to teach you baseball. I know it's pretty lame, but there's, like, specifics about baseball. I'm not going to be like, yo, 3 outs. Actually, let's start off with trivia. How many outs in an inning?
3, yeah. I know.
No.
What?
6.
Yeah,
It's a little tricker. It's a little tricker, dude.
You bastard.
Yeah.
I guess I always divide them into top and bottom.
That's
like
what
in
I
my
do
head.
because I'm gay. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, like that's how it makes sense to me. I guess then I would think there's 18 innings in a normal
Yes.
game.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a real, it's a
Yeah.
trivia question. But yeah, technically one inning is top and bottom.
Yeah, you dadded me.
Yeah,
you
just
got
that
me.
it.
son
Well,
of
when
a
you
bitch.
start with baseball, like people will be, because I played my whole life. People, that's like a little trick thing. They go, yeah, you're so good at baseball. How many outs? You're like, 3. What? 3, dude? And I'm like, you fucking retarded. And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
dude, we get it.
Yeah, I am retarded. That's
I don't know
why
if you can
had
say that
people
word.
teach
Yeah,
me.
I was like,
I don't know. My mom and my dad are my only listeners, so they know I am.
shout out mom and dad.
Yeah. So I know like basic baseball. Like I grew up playing Little League.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped when I cried after I couldn't catch a ball one time. I was like, I'm done. I don't like crying in front of people.
Well, it should have been the not being able to catch a ball thing.
Yeah.
That hurt more than crying, because people cry, but most people could catch.
Yeah.
baseballs.
Yeah, especially with a glove. Like I was the only kid playing bounce pitch with a glove.
Well, did it hit you in the face or just drop?
No, it bounced out of the glove. I blame the glove.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was
Dude, it's
the glove.
definitely that Rawlings fucked up. Rawlings messed it up for you.
I should have been in Easton, you know?
Easton, Louisville Slugger, any of the above. Academia.
I don't know that
Yeah,
brand.
that's a
Was that inside
that's an
baseball?
inside baseball
Oh,
logo
there we
right
go.
there. Yeah.
I was wondering how long it would take me to make the inside baseball joke.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 minutes it was, I think.
Yep.
That's great. But yeah, I played my entire life. To be honest, like I don't even really watch it now.
Really?
Yeah, but when you asked me to be on the podcast, I was like, all right, yeah, let's do something fun. And I was like, well, what do I know? And then I was like, oh, I don't know anything. I'm retarded. All I know is the thing that I did for the first 23 years of my life, and now it's comedy. But I'm not going to be like, you want to learn stand-up? So I'm going to do I have to do baseball. I am so dumb with everything else, so I have to do baseball.
So did you play like college, that whole route?
Yeah, I played college. I went to William and Mary down in Virginia.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, it was fucking great, but yeah, I played in college.
What position?
So I played shortstop my entire life,
right.
and then I played third base my final season. So I actually didn't play my senior season of college because I tore my labrum.
All right.
This is a funny story, actually, and I'm going to tell it. So I played freshman year. I started shortstop. Sophomore year, there was a really good shortstop coming in. My sophomore year, he was a freshman. And my coach was like, look, he's going to play shortstop, so we're going to move you to third. Third basemen are typically bigger and like thicker and like stronger, while shortstops are more quick. So I put on a ton of weight, like because my coach was like, put on weight, like you're going to move to third. And I was like, awesome. But, and this is what I credit as the end of my career, the freshman who came in, like one of the first days of college, he found somebody's ID card on the ground, and he took it and he ordered Domino's pizza through the card for the entire year. And it was so much money and so much Domino's pizza that he got a felony.
Really?
Because he stole money and it was over like $500 or whatever.
Yeah.
So he got suspended, and then I had to move back to short with all that weight on, and my arm couldn't handle it, and that's how I tore my labrum. So I credit the Domino's pizza guy.
So you injured because of Domino's pizza?
Yeah.
Wow.
Domino's pizza ruined my life. I was going to be Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
I was not very good.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, a guy can dream. You never know. There's always like that, like 9th round draft pick who ends up starting.
9th round, like start out right off the bat, teach you about baseball. There's like 40 rounds every year in baseball drafts. So if 9th round is like, that's good. That makes sense. Then. That you would make it. Mike Piazza, 65th rounder.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, love the Mets. My mom will love to hear about the Mets all day.
He actually got drafted by the Dodgers.
But
he's a Mets guy.
Once he passed his prime, he came over to take our money. Yeah. So that's why we love him.
His prime is probably on the Mets.
Yeah.
He started out on the Dodgers, but Mets was where he made a name for himself,
Really?
Yeah.
Because I remember like that trade being a big deal.
It might have been. I don't think I was even cognizant of baseball at that time. But
how old are you?
26.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I'm 35.
Yeah, so you're 10. Yeah, so that probably was like literally when I was like just starting to play catch with my dad in the back, But yeah. So we're doing baseball, even though quite literally I hate it at this point and I don't watch it, but that's all I know.
Yeah.
So
like when you started playing baseball, was it like, like, oh, I want to be like this guy, or were you inspired, or was it just kind of like around? Because a large part of like why I started playing was like watching the Mets, watching it on TV, and then like kind of delusionally being like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, I've always loved baseball. Like there's videos of me like being a young kid playing baseball. I come from an athletic family, so I have like 50 cousins, and they all play some sort of sport, right? Like, and a lot of them in college. And I always was just like good at baseball, but then as we got older, but we all were good at everything, right? We were all good at basketball, football, baseball. As we got older, I was the only one who stopped growing at 5'11", and the other ones went to 6'3", 6'4". So I was like, you guys do basketball, I'm going to do baseball for the rest of it. And then I quit everything else and focused on baseball, and that was my life. Yeah.
Is baseball a sport where shorter people can, not that that's short at all, but like in hockey, like tall is good all the time?
Yeah. Baseball, if you're a pitcher, tall is good. Tall is better. Besides that, first base, maybe it matters a little bit, but besides that, it really doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
First base, because you want like the tall, if there's a bad throw, you got to like.
Yeah.
So that's it. Pitcher helps because the stride length. So like Randy Johnson's 6'11". So when he's throwing a ball to you, he's really the pitcher's mound is 60 feet 6 inches. When Randy Johnson's throwing the ball, it's really 58. When Marcus Stroman is throwing the ball, who's 5'8", it's 60 feet. Like, you know what I mean? Like that stride length is gonna, and that means that the ball's so it's tough.
So one of the things I do know about baseball is like the reaction time of a hitter is like supposed to be like the most.
I actually looked it up before this. It's 0.15 seconds on a 95 mile an hour fastball.
Wow.
Yeah. Which sounds like crazy stupid. Like it's one of those things where you're like, that's crazy. Like you're like, that's crazy. And then you do it and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
It's not, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's instinct. It's not like,
it's the 1,000 bats or the 10,000 hours kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so I can relate to that because like in hockey as a goalie, I'm more.
That's, I heard, is harder. They hit it faster.
There's more information though before the shot comes in.
Not on a redirect.
Yeah, on a redirect, that's
you're fucked.
You're totally.
Do you get in trouble? Like our coach is like, Tim, what the fuck, dude? On a redirect? On a redirect?
I've never had a coach.
Oh, you just play for fun?
Yeah, I play men's league. So like my friends have been like, Tim, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, shut up, dude. It was a redirect. You don't even know.
Yeah. Next time, block the whole puck.
You only have 2 teeth, bro. You work at Geico. Shut up.
Yeah, pretty much that's my team. Shout out to Hogan's Heroes Hockey. Now the Hammerheads.
Hell
Love
yeah.
you guys.
Triple H's.
Yeah.
A lot of H's being thrown around.
Yes.
That's what I love.
Yeah, I love those guys. I had a game 2 nights ago. We lost. But
Yeah. Hey, dude,
yeah.
It's okay. People lose in sports, dude.
yeah.
People lose. It's all right.
It's a good teaching moment. Or
Yeah, I
learning
actually didn't
moment.
know that you played hockey. That's very interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Well, I don't look like a goalie because I
No.
weigh like 7 pounds.
Yeah.
So
I would have guessed like chess or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not hockey goalie. When I see Henrik Lundqvist and you, I'm like, oh, I bet they play the same position in sports, you know?
Because I'm so handsome. And he's also
He's gross. And I'm like, he's a hockey guy. But this guy, male model?
yeah. No, I never modeled, but no, hockey I love.
Yeah. Well, shirtless modeling, but
Usually hands.
Yeah.
But, so like in hockey though, like I get all the information from the player's position, whether the puck is more in front of him, behind him. In baseball with pitching, I feel like that don't they like try to like hide the release? There's like a lot of that.
For sure. So the reason why I did play in college was because I was good at fielding and I had a really good arm.
Right.
As a hitter, I blue cock. Like they said, the rule of thumb is that if you bat, let's say 400 in high school, which is not that crazy. Like let's say you bat 400. The rule of thumb is that you bat half of that in college. I was so like just bad at hitting because I was in my own head and I couldn't see it that I just hit like what I hit in high school, which was like 260. I hit like 230 in college. So that's like I was never that big of a difference because the pitching didn't really matter to me. It was all me seeing the ball. So that comes back to the release point, right? Because a fastball is always like over the top. A curveball, you're going to see that. I don't know. Like, so that's a fastball. Curveball's that.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to see that. And I could never pick that up. I was just always like me guessing, if that makes sense. So the pitchers, how you're talking about how they set up and stuff.
Yeah.
Some pitchers will like, when they have it in their glove, right? Like, this is getting really inside baseball. But what you're supposed to do when you're not batting is be in the dugout looking at the pitcher, trying to pick up shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
So if a pitcher is like this on a fastball, but for whatever reason, when they're throwing a curveball, like maybe they move their glove like that, you have to know that. And that's like college level shit. Like people aren't doing that in like high school, but there's different quirks. Like maybe this is a fastball and this is a curveball, and you have to be like, you notice that, and then that's how. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know if that answers your question, but it kind of does.
No, it does because like that's what my favorite thing about sports isn't usually the physical, like oh my god he can run so fast or whatever. It's usually all those little mental games.
Yes.
You know, like that's what I love. Like that's why I like in baseball how a pitcher will usually see a batter 2 to 3 times.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it becomes usually like nothing drops off. Well, a little bit drops off of the speed or the control of the pitch, but really it's more the batter learning. And that's why later innings, like 6 innings, I think is pretty much a standard for starting pitchers around.
6 would be an average start. I think 7 is that's like a good start because then you have a reliever at 8, closer at 9. But yeah, that's definitely, and again, like going back to like me personally, like I was the guy who hit well in the beginning because he's not throwing. I could hit a fastball is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Once you start throwing other shit that I can't see, I sucked.
Yeah.
So, it would be horrible. But so most people though, like good hitters, will get better as the game goes on. Because like in let's say the first inning, it will be like a 1-2 count, and he threw a curveball. Then the second time he faces him, it's a 1-2 count again. He's like, he's probably gonna go curveball again. So he sits on that and he waits for it. I could never do that. I was just like in the beginning,
just like give me a fucking fastball, give me a fastball.
Yeah, and they normally would because when you're in college, you don't have the video on people like in the pros. Yeah. So they're just like, let's just throw fastballs, see what you can do, and then that's when I would be like, all right, I'm not bad here. And then as soon as like, okay, you hit the fastball, so a curveball, I'd be like, well, I'll see you tomorrow. How about that? Because that's not a plan. That's how it was. But you're right. Most hitters will be able to get better as the game goes on. Yeah.
Now, like when you're on the bench, like the dugout is the baseball term. Are you guys like talking about that? Like, hey, I noticed when the pitcher does this, this is coming.
Yeah, in my beginner years, I definitely did that. As shit went on, and I just didn't care anymore. No, we were just playing like trivia and shit like that. We were just being like, "Hey, where did Shaquille O'Neal go to college?" And then they'd be like, "Oh, you're up," and I'd be like, "Oh, fuck, all right." But yeah, in the beginning years, yeah, you do focus on. I know this one kid in particular was so big on like studying the pitcher every game and being like, "Dude, his shoelace is a little untied. That means his curveball's coming." And you're like, well, "I don't think that's what that means," but all right. Yeah, but that shit just got in my head, right? Because then there would be times where I would know, or in my head, I'd be like, okay, he fucking did this, right? I'm like, so curveball's probably coming. Then it would be a fastball, and I'd be fucked. I'd be like, all right, I'll see. Yeah, just strike me out.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a fun fact? How bad I was at hitting? My freshman year at college, I was 7th in the nation, I believe, 7th or 6th in strikeouts.
Really?
But everybody ahead of me was all pitchers. So I was the only guy who just had all the strikeouts because I just sucked at hitting.
That's how good you were at fielding, though. They were like,
yeah. Well, also we just didn't have another guy, but yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I got lucky, if we're being honest. But yeah.
Yeah. Small college.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 6,000 people. Yeah. John Stewart went there. Actually, he played soccer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is it like a sports college?
No. Big nerd.
All right.
Everybody walking around with blue and yellow hair type college.
Yeah. Yep.
They
will not be listening to this podcast.
Well, if they do, shout out, because I fucking hated that place.
That's so cool. So you wanted to teach me.
I did love the baseball experience, by the way, if any baseball coaches ever, which I know they won't, but I'm just saying, I love you.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything with that. It was everybody on campus.
That's so like, you know, what's funny about like being a goalie in hockey, it's such an individual experience where I feel like baseball, no matter what position you are, it's a team.
When you're on defense, when you're hitting, it's you.
Yeah.
It's just,
so
that's
combination then.
Yeah, that's why I think baseball is an actually interesting sport, even though I don't watch it a ton, like I said. But it is an interesting sport because it's really the only one where it's like, there's parts where it's just you, and then there's parts where it's you got to work as a team.
Yeah.
Football, the team has to be everybody together.
Yeah.
Basketball, the same thing. Hockey, I don't know as well, so I can't really speak on that. But as a goalie, it definitely makes sense that it's just you.
Yeah.
But baseball, it's like when you're hitting, just you. Or even when you're in the field and it's hit to you, it's kind of just you.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts where it's like if there's a relay or if there's, a double play, something like that. It's like, okay, this takes almost everybody, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. But
yeah, and that's something that's like so not only the reaction time of a pitch coming in, but also like the reaction time of the fielders on a ground ball to the shortstop.
Yeah.
Like the second baseman has to read it right away. No, there's a guy on first.
Mm-hmm.
Like has to, as soon as that ball's hit, he's almost got to be on his way.
Yep. That's where the playing since you're young comes in. Because like when you just know, it's just like muscle memory. Here comes our second roommate.
And in comes Dave.
Way to ruin it.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So anyway, I think that Jews are the worst, and my roommate's Jewish, everybody. I do hate him. But yeah, no, when you play baseball, it's like the second nature type of stuff where it's like, they call it, what's it called? Fielder's clock, right? So it's like when you're playing shortstop and a ball's hit to you, somehow, some way, you just know, like, oh, I can field it and do a double hop, or it's like I take 2 crow hops and throw, or I have to field it and get it out right away. Like you just have to know like the runner speed, the speed of the ball, and like just how good your arm, and it's just like you have to do that. And that's kind of the same shit where it's like, all right, there's a man on second, pop up over here. It's like, what do? Do you go try to catch it, or do you go to second in case he doesn't get back? And it's all that shit. Yeah. And it's shit that you don't really practice. It just comes from like watching and playing for years that you're like, okay, this is just boom. This situation, I know where to go. Yeah.
What do they call that? Like situational awareness or something? Yeah.
Oops. We used to do that a lot. When you're younger, you practice that where it's like you go out in the field and the coach is like, all right, man on second, 2 outs, and then he'll fucking hit something and you just have to react. So, but situational awareness. The way that they put it in basketball, because I come from a basketball family, like everybody plays basketball. I'm, again, like I said, the only baseball guy. But court awareness, where it's like just all the times you kind of know where everybody is at all times.
Yeah. In hockey, they call it hockey sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a term for like everything.
Yeah.
Football IQ,
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah.
So you wanted to teach me specifically about...
Yeah.
Is it one guy?
It's kind of a few. As I'm kind of talking about this, I'm kind of realizing it like that it's my pitch for why steroids should be legal. So I actually did. We took speech class, or I took a speech class in college, and we had to do what's it called? A final persuasive speech. And my persuasive speech was steroids should be legal.
Yeah.
And it's just because I don't like basically use like the viewership when Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. Like, do you know those names?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I saw the 30 and 30
For Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa?
Yeah. And that was great. Definitely watch that if you haven't.
Yeah. Shout out, plug ESPN.
Yeah.
Make sure we get their views up. Let's get those up. No, it is a great 30 for 30. Because I love that era of big fucking guys who just hit home runs and the pitchers threw 99. Yeah. And it was just a great era of sports. And it's kind of still there, but it's also kind of not, obviously, because they took away steroids. But Barry Bonds is like one of my favorite athletes of all time. And it's because of the stats. Like, the stats that I'll tell you, like, I'll use hockey for an example. I'm big into, like, as I was telling you before the podcast, like, greatness of an athlete where when you see it, you're like, holy shit. That's, like, the stat I'll use for hockey is Wayne Gretzky. Mm-hmm. I don't know hockey that well, but what I know is that points-wise, career-wise, he has 2,000. The second place, which I believe is Bobby Orr, has 1,000.
Yeah.
So that, like, blows my mind away that he's, like... Because then, like, third place has, like, 999. Yeah. And it's all close. But then Wayne Gretzky is so much farther ahead. I'm like, it's unbelievable.
It's, like, been called, like, unbreakable. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, he was playing 2020 hockey in 1980.
Right.
He had the awareness and the knowledge that would come from years of videotape.
Right.
And you know, an interesting thing, he actually grew up playing baseball. He was a big multi-sport guy.
That's something, hey, if any kids are watching, shout out to the youth. Keep playing all sports. I quit everything after 8th grade. I played basketball, football, baseball. But then once high school came, I was like, I just want to play baseball. And I quit everything else. And that's a huge regret in my life because I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
For athletic purposes and also just fun. Just like, you know.
Yeah. But some of like my favorite times growing up where my stomach has been growling this whole episode.
I haven't heard it once.
Oh, really?
No.
That's all I hear.
I haven't heard it once.
Like
cut that part.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes again. All right, now we're good.
I had Chipotle beer and coffee this morning, and I'm chilling.
I had 1 cup of coffee and nothing to eat. That's probably it.
That'll
my
That'll
MO.
do it.
Yeah, I don't eat till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's what I normally do, but I knew I was drinking later today, so I was like, let me get some carbs in me.
Yeah.
You fill myself up real quick, yeah.
My funnest times growing up were like baseball. I quit soccer when I was young. I probably because I cried during that at some point.
You're a big crier in sports, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Can't wait to see you cry on stage one time.
It'll happen. It will definitely happen.
Your parents are just like, Tim is crying way too much. We got to get him out of sports.
But like,
Give him drinking. That will help.
Yeah. No, I'll cry way more. Oh my God, the amount of times I cried drinking. But this is one of my regrets is like I didn't stick with anything through high school. Like I didn't.
Did you play a sport in high school?
No
sport.
I tried to play soccer and then I had my nose broken 3 times in 1 year.
And that time it was just instinctual that the tears came down, right? When you get your nose broke, it just comes down.
I don't think I cried because I made the save. I was a goalie. I did one of those cool slide
Cried out
tackle.
of happiness though afterwards. Like, hell yeah, dude! That was for my team.
Well, we lost like 16-1. We were terrible.
Yeah, but it almost was 17-1.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So there you go.
I'm from South Amboy, and we would always play Perth Amboy once a year. And South Amboy.
I love that campus. South, Perth, East, West. I love it. Why is it called Perth Amboy? That's the first time I noticed that, by the way. And I've heard of Perth Amboy my entire life.
I think it's boat directions, right? Isn't?
Oh, I don't know. I just go by nautical miles. I don't go by the compass. I don't know.
I actually don't know why it's Perth Amboy and South Amboy. There's no like East Amboy or anything.
Maybe the guy just had a lisp. He was like South Amboy and Perth Amboy. Like, you mean North? No, Perth.
Is maybe Perth Spanish for North?
I don't know. Jamie, pull it up. All right.
But Perth Amboy, huge Spanish community. South Amboy, mostly Polish and Irish.
It means perhaps. So they were just like, maybe this is Amboy. I don't know. Is it possibly Amboy?
Yeah. That's how accurate
funny.
they were, like back in the day.
That's South Amboy for sure. This one, I mean, could be Amboy. Let's just go with Perth Amboy.
That's what I learned today.
That's what I taught you. Tim teaches Tim about Perth.
That's perfect.
Perfect, dude. Hell yeah. That's Mike Tyson saying perfect. All right.
But we would play it'd be like the all stars of the Spanish community versus like Irish
In
kids.
soccer.
Yeah.
Well, Irish isn't that... Well, Irish Americans suck, but
Yeah.
Ireland is not that bad at soccer.
Yeah. We're all sons of alcoholics.
Yes.
And it's like, maybe... I mean, those games would be like 20-0.
Yeah, it was like Vamos Timmy versus Go Timmy, score, man. Just like, all right, Dad.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to
Barry
talk
Bonds.
about Barry Bonds in particular because he is my favorite athlete, even though baseball is like not my sport anymore, really. But he just blows me away with like his Wayne Gretzky types of stats because he has so many.
Yeah.
That I just love. Like, he's the best. So first of all, now obviously you know Barry Bonds. He got in trouble for like taking steroids, all this shit. But first of all, he has 7 MVPs. The next closest person has 3, and there's a lot of people who have 3, but he has 7, and he's still not in the Hall of Fame, by the way. And all of this shit is my pitch to get him in the Hall of Fame. Okay. So, I mean, do you just want me to read off a bunch of stats, or you want me to try to explain why? Now, that one was just an easy one, but I can read off stats. We could talk about why I think they're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so he had a 609 on-base percentage in 2004. Which
does that include walks?
Yes.
Wow.
So this
like
is that was the brilliance of Barry Bonds, is that he was such a good hitter with such a good eye that he pretty much either like hit a home run or walked. Like and a walk is huge. Like a walk, I never appreciated a walk until I saw somebody like Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, he's like painting a picture with his eye. Like, if that makes sense. Where if like this is the strike zone and the ball is right here, he knows it's a ball. He's gonna take. Like, he was so patient, and the patience is so. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just putting him on such a high pedestal, but it's just so cool to me that this guy who hit so many home runs is just so patient, and he just knows. He's like, no, I'm cool, and walk. Like, he knows that getting on base is gonna help his team win. So with the 609 on base percentage in 04, that means 6 out of 10 times he would get on base, which is unbelievable because like nowadays 4 out of 10 times is like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it will, but no, it's 3 out of 10. Yeah. So double that. It's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky thing. Sorry, I keep having a burp.
I'm sorry.
But it's crazy, right? Now, with Barry Bonds and intentional walks, that's where I lose my mind with Barry Bonds because, hold on, let me actually find the stat. So you know what an intentional walk is, right?
Yeah. To pitch out or...
They literally say... Now, sometimes it's for good reasons, right? Like, if there's a man on second and you're up at bat and there's 1 out, it's probably a good idea to intentional walk whoever that is so that the guy goes on first, which gives you then a better chance of a ground ball turning into a double play.
Right, because if he's on second, he doesn't have to run.
He doesn't have to do anything.
You only get 1 out.
Exactly. Yeah. So when there's a man on first, then there's a ground ball, double play, end of inning.
Yeah.
So that like makes sense. But when it comes to Barry Bonds' intentional walks career, he has 688. So a lot of them is situations like that, but also a lot of them are, which I'll explain in a little bit. Second person, Albert Pujols, also a Hall of Famer, had a huge career. Third person is Hank Aaron, No, sorry. Second person is Hank Aaron, who just died because he took the vaccine.
Oh.
Seriously, that was a real thing. They were like, Hank Aaron's feeling great. He just took the vaccine. Everything's going great. And then yesterday it was like, Hank Aaron died.
Yeah, how old was he?
He was 81, but it was also like, all right. But anyway, Barry Bonds, 688. Hank Aaron, 293.
Really?
Yes.
So a third, pretty much.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And when you're playing baseball, do you hear that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I think that's outside. People having a good time.
Maybe they're just going crazy about the Barry Bonds stuff. Yeah. So when you're playing baseball, especially as you get older to like the major leagues type of shit, when a runner gets on base, like that's crazy. Like you don't want to, as a pitcher, you don't want to let people on base because then the chances of scoring are much greater.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So to just intentionally put Barry Bonds on base 688 times means that the manager was like, look, he's so fucking good that he'll probably hit a home run, so let's put him on first.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's so. How many what was? I wonder what his home run percentage. Like what percentage of the balls he hit were home runs?
I can actually probably get that. Oh, here you go. Actually, the next stat. Actually, it's home runs and walks.
Right.
But actually, this one probably won't blow you away a little bit because it's just not going to sound great, but it's crazy. Because again, keep in mind, if you go up to bat 10 times and you get a hit 3 of those times, you're a Hall of Famer. Like,
Yeah.
like you're so good. But if you get a hit 2 of those times, people are like, okay, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
So out of his 12,606 career plate appearances, 26.3% of them end with a home run or walk, which is crazy because there's so many other things that could happen. He could strike out, ground out, pop up, fucking get hit by a pitch, do all this shit. 26 of them ended in a home run or walk, which are both great for the team, right?
Yeah.
From in 2001 to 2004, which is like his top thing, it was 39.5. Crazy. I want to find this one stat. My friend has it. Okay. He's the only player in the 500. He was also fast. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
He's the only player in the 500 club, which means he has 500 home runs, 500 steals. No one else is even in the 400 club.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Who's the Oakland A's guy who's like
Ricky
famous?
Henderson?
Yeah.
What was he in?
Well, he wasn't that. Well, he was a decent hitter. He wasn't like an.
He wasn't a home run hitter. He had like
Yeah.
400 to 500 steals, but he wasn't
Yeah.
a home run guy. Okay. He has. Hold on. There's this. In 2004, when he broke the home run record, he batted 174 just off home runs.
Really?
Yes, which again, 2 out of 10 makes you a pretty good player.
Yeah.
174 with just home runs means that he was such a good hit. Like that means you take away his doubles, take away his singles, take away his triples, and he just home runs versus everything else. Ew. Crazy. All right, there was one fucking stat. So he got. It's something like this. So don't exactly quote me on this, but this is the stat that to me is the absolute craziest. He got intentionally walked with. Okay, I'm just trying to find it. Sorry.
No worries.
He got intentionally walked with the bases empty, meaning no one's on base. Like that's a crazy stat, just because you're like no one's on base, and you're 90. The only player that anybody that this has happened to was Barry Bonds, 64 times. Nobody really has ever else gotten intentionally walked with nobody on base. So
at that point, they're literally just avoiding the home run.
Exactly. Being hit. Like yes, they're like nobody's on base, and they're just like, which means that like a hit wouldn't mean anything really. It would just be like, okay, yeah, we'd get on base.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying, we'd rather put you on base than let you hit a home run. Like,
yeah.
I don't know this or to be true 100%, but I don't think anybody else ever has gotten intentionally walked once with nobody on base. And he did it it was either 62 or 63, 64 times.
Yeah.
60. That's fucking crazy to me. Then this is the other one that blew my mind. He got intentionally walked once with the bases loaded.
So, so they walked in the run.
Yep.
on purpose.
On purpose. And said, we'll face the next professional hitter. That's how much I love this dude.
That is insane.
Yes. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And those are the stats that like I live for. Yeah. And it's actually really funny that we talk about this because my friend who I played baseball with in college is way more into all this shit. And he randomly texted us this morning while you were here, like just setting up, and he said, fun stat, we've probably discussed the insane stat that Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs with only 49 singles in 2001, which is crazy.
That is insane.
But did you know that Mark McGwire, who I also love, has hit four times more home runs than singles in his career?
Wow.
Which means these dudes, who, by the way, have good averages. It's not like they're batting 180.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm going too inside baseball.
No,
I'm just getting into it.
Yeah.
But it means that, like, yeah, they're hitting like 280, which is great. Again, Hall of Famer right there. But they're hitting 4 more home runs.
Yeah.
So when they hit the ball, they're doing damage.
Yeah. And, like, honestly, isn't that the best part of baseball?
It's the nerd stats.
Yeah.
And the home runs, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
And the home runs and the stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, again, I like that movie Moneyball.
Great movie.
Yeah, great movie. And it was literally driven by stats. Yeah, there was characters in it or whatever. Yeah. But, like, it's such a unique thing to build a team
around. Because he was, like, on base percentage.
Yeah.
He was like, that guy might have, like, a 180 average, but his on base is 305. And you're like, well, that's good.
Yeah.
The more times on base, the more times you score.
Yeah.
And again, that's where it's getting into like the nerdier baseball type stats.
Yeah.
But
so Barry Bonds with his was it 0.6 or
609. Now it is 0.609, but yeah, it's 609 on base.
That makes him the most valuable baseball player of all time. Pretty much.
Let me look up OBP best in season. I mean, he will be close, but let me see what the second one is. Well, he's second also. Well, Ted Williams was also there. Yeah, he was first with 609, second with 581. Ted Williams, who's the last player to hit 400 in a season, which means 4 to 10 times, hit 5.55. And then there's a lot of older guys. Nowadays, it just doesn't happen. Like, look, if you look at the pictures of all these people,
oh yeah,
it's all black and white, and then black with Barry Bonds, and then white with Ted Williams. So it's just it's unheard of. Now. It's like the Joe DiMaggio thing, which is another crazy stat: 56 game hitting streak, which means 56 games in a row he got a hit.
That's incredible.
It's actually like I know. I feel like some of these stats are like, okay, it sounds cool, but it's also like, is it that hard? It's crazy.
Oh, like a third of a season, though, right?
Yeah, to get a hit. It's just wild. That's something that will never be broken again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if that teaches you baseball, but it teaches you my love for Barry Bonds.
Well, you made the case that like steroids should be legal, and
it's way more fun.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
It's the best.
I think if you're willing to take on that risk to be a better performer,
yeah. A lot of people are still doing it though. People are getting busted left and right nowadays.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you blame them?
No, because it's like what I would do. It's kind of like I forget what the example was, but it's like if everybody else is doing it, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Only because it's like getting you better. Like it's like if you're a student and I don't know, you're trying to get in Harvard, right? I mean, this is a weird example, but like everybody's taking Adderall and that's helping them out. It's like you should probably take Adderall if you want to get into Harvard. It doesn't seem like that bad of a thing. Right?
Take Adderall and not be Asian.
Yeah, not be Asian. Well, yeah, that hurts you, right? Being Asian.
Yeah, they're like not letting as many Asian.
Don't be white either, though. That could just go be transracial. Go be black.
Yes.
Take Adderall, and you'll fucking kill. Also, be queer. That would help.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
Play tennis. Donate to charities.
Yes, extracurriculars is what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
But like. I make the case that like baseball is not a physical sport.
No,
you're not imposing your will on anything but the ball, pretty much.
Yeah.
Why steroids should be fine?
They should be, but it's this weird thing where it's like it's not because it's hurting the people, and it's like, well, everything else is like. It's a weird thing where it's just like a rule. And it's kind of like weed, right? Where it's just like, oh, it's a rule and it's bad for you. Why is it bad for you? don't really know.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, and they're like, yeah, but it's still bad and it's still a rule, so you can't. And it's kind of like steroids. Like, yeah, steroids isn't great for you, but if you do it properly and like it's regulated, like in some other places, it's pretty much fine. Like it's fine.
Well, it like I always make the comparison to weightlifting.
Yeah.
Should athletes not be allowed to lift weights to get stronger?
Yeah, exactly. Now,
like, I don't.
The argument there is that, like, again, I don't even really know, but I'm playing devil's advocate where it's like, well, this person has the money and the means to afford steroids, because steroids are expensive, dude. You got to pay like $800 a month.
I know, man.
Yeah, you know. You fucking get it, dude. And then eating right, too, dude. Yeah. Whole Foods is way more expensive than McDonald's. That's why.
That is true.
And why it's not a lot. Never mind. Not going to say it.
Thank you.
But yes, so they should be legal. It makes the sport way better. I told you I did my speech on it, and viewership increased by like 10%, which is a lot.
Yeah. They go into the stats on like on the 30 and 30 about like how many more people were watching a game that it was the Cardinals versus the Cubs, and it was like one of the highest viewed. It like almost eclipsed the Super Bowl, and like
because when you get up, like it's like watching Mike Trout now. Do you know who Mike Trout is?
No,
he's actually from Jersey, but he's the best player in baseball by a lot,
right.
And nobody knows who he is, by the way, because baseball's so fucking boring, and he's so fucking boring that baseball, like, he's not even like the face of baseball, even though he pretty much is like LeBron James of baseball.
Yeah.
But he's just like such a dork that people are like, all right, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
But he's so good. And every time he gets up, I'm like, I have to watch. It might be a home run. And that's just like what you want to see.
Yeah.
So when you have fucking people like David Eckstein's getting up there. Do you know who David Eckstein is?
It sounds familiar.
He's essentially... And I don't mean this as a diss to you. He's essentially your stature.
All right.
And he played in the bigs. And he was just like a guy who maybe got a bunt single once in a while, but he played forever. Like, I'm not going to watch that guy. It's boring.
Yeah.
I want to see Mark McGwire's hit a ball into the third deck and be like, hell yeah, dude. And then he fucking runs around like this. And it's great.
Yeah.
It's the best.
That's what, honestly, like, I hate watching baseball on TV. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't stand it.
Dude, I played for 23 years and I don't watch it.
Yeah.
It sucks.
When I'm at a game, it's a little more entertaining because, like,
hot dogs. I had this conversation the other day. I love football and basketball, but I don't like going to those games. I don't like baseball, but I love going to baseball games because it's an experience.
Yeah.
It's the hot dog, the beer, the sitting close to people, and the peanuts. And
yeah.
You don't do that at football. I mean, you can kind of, but not really.
Yeah.
And also, you want to watch the game. Baseball, you're just like doing your shit, and then like you hear a crack of the bat, and you're like, oh, what happened?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah. The thing that always drove me away from baseball watching it on TV was the commentators.
Yeah.
Like, take a boring situation, tell boring stories about people who don't play anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's why I feel like if there was like a podcast version with ex-players who were, talking like I feel like if you took comedians or something, like, liven up the talking in between, or just don't play any commentators.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's certain people that suck. Like, I don't watch enough baseball to say it, like, to know, but they say shit that's just like, what, dude? Like, it just didn't even make any sense. Like, it will be like a pop-up, and they'll be like, and that's Didi Gregorius pop-up to center field. I remember back in the day, I had this guy had a pop-up to center field, and he also caught it. And then A-Rod is just like, yeah, that's good. Didi's been really trying to work on his strength recently. And you're like, okay, what does this have to do with the pop-up?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Talk about your steroid use, A-Rod. And talk about J-Lo.
Anything about your life. I'll take any detail.
But they force conversation because it is so boring in between pitches. They have to. I almost don't even blame them because it's like, what do they do?
Yeah, and if they're doing 120 games this season, right? Or is it 180?
Well, there's 162. Oh, but they probably do about 120 of them because like the other 40 are either like maybe they just do it on another network or it's ESPN or some shit. But that's
360 hours, give or take, a year.
It is more than that. Baseball has a big time issue. Like, it's been a big focus of, and like, this is teaching you more about baseball, but like, there's a rule now. So baseball, the average time is like 3 hours and like 15 minutes, and they really want to get that down to like 2:45. Burping, a lot of beer.
I thought I heard someone else talking.
Yeah. No, that was me. But so like they're doing stupid stuff where it's like when you do an intentional walk now, instead of throwing the actual 4 pitches, because you used to have to do that and you could hit it. Like there's videos of people who like are getting intentionally walked where the catcher stands up and does this, but the pitch is too close that they fucking hit it and it's a home run. And it's kind of funny. But nowadays, like if I'm going to intentionally walk somebody, I just say, we're putting him on. Like you don't even have to throw it. So that's speeding up the game. If you bring in a new pitcher, he has to face at least one batter. Because back in the day, it would be like one pitch and be like bringing the next guy. Yeah. And it's a whole process. So they're trying to speed it up because it is so boring, but it's still not working.
Yeah.
It still sucks.
Yeah, that's why I always feel like when I'm like trying to bring people into hockey, like it's so easy to do that because like there's a hit, there's a shot, there's a goal, a great save. Yeah, it's like
constant.
There's something to catch people right away. Where baseball, it's like you might be scoreless with like
you got to show the highlights.
Yeah,
you got to show. There's a 10-minute video on Barry Bonds that I watch once a month just to jerk off to.
Yeah.
And it's just home run after home run after home run, and I'm just like, holy fuck, dude. If that was baseball, I would be the biggest baseball fan of all time. And
like watching that 30 and 30, I was like, I wish this was what baseball was, because if you took it from there, and what year was that? That was
McGuire,
late
and that
90s?
Probably 04. McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that makes sense.
It might 98.
All right. Like,
and that's off of Roger Maris's record of 61, which was also there's a movie called 61 where Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris were like chasing the home run record at the time, which was 61. That obviously now has been broken by the GOAT Barry Bonds, 72. But that's a great movie, and it's funny because like 61 was so many at that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember.
People do that. Not a lot now, but like it's not inconceivable. And then when the steroid era was here, it was like, oh, okay, all the time.
Yeah.
Like McGuire had 70, Bonds has 72, all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's the best.
Yeah.
Home runs are the best. Is what I'm trying to say.
I agree. Like there's nothing better. I don't think there's a cooler part in any sport.
Yep.
Then that guy, he nails it and then he watches it and he knows.
You pimp it.
Yeah. The flip of the bat.
You ever seen Jose Bautista's flip?
No.
Can I show it to you on air?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I don't know how much we'll be able to pick up on video, but we'll provide a link or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me. It's the best. The way he fucking pimps it so bad is just crazy.
Yeah, there's just like that moment, and like you hear it in the bat too.
It's the best, dude. Watch him stand. Watch him stand, and then he throws it. Watch, they're gonna show the replay. I look at the fans, dude. How does that not get you pumped? And then Barry, watch it. Come on, dude.
Jesus,
watch this
Christ.
bat. That's the fucking best, dude. Oh, I get so hyped on that. And I fucking hate baseball. I hate baseball, and I love that so much.
Yeah. See, like, God, that's such a great moment. Mm-hmm. Especially, was that even playoffs?
That was playoffs. All right,
yeah,
that was playoffs.
Yeah, playoff home run.
Playoffs, anything, by the way, is sweet.
Yeah.
Hockey, basketball, football. It's all sweet.
I've actually, like, that's the only time I really watch baseball. It's usually like a wild card game. I love a wild card game because it's one and done. It's like most pressure.
Yep.
And then the World Series, I'll catch a little bit.
I don't watch it. I'll especially with comedy, by the way. Which, as a big sports fan myself, like comedy, like you come home and it's like, oh, there's 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this ninth inning. And you're like, fuck, I'm not going to rewatch the game.
Yeah.
So you miss so many sports, and it kind of sucks, but, it is what it is. Yeah. I'd rather be doing that than being like, well, at least I watched the whole playoff game, you know? So
Yeah, I watched the first 6 innings
Yeah.
where nothing mattered.
it all sucks. I mean, 7th inning on is the best, and maybe like 3rd quarter on is the best, but also like it does kind of suck be like, oh fuck, 2 minutes left. Like, But yeah, that's comedy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's weird, like missing hockey games, like because I'm going to do 5
Who's your team?
minutes. I'm a Devils fan,
Yeah.
born and raised, but this year it's hard to judge because of the condensed format.
Because the Devils got PK Subban, and you're like, oh, I don't support them anymore.
It.
Is that why? Should I break out the book?
No.
Should I pull out the book and tell him what's up?
No. I love him as a person. He's a great person, does a lot of good things for charity and everything.
But
he's a terrible defenseman.
oh, that's why we just switched all of a sudden. That's why we were just like, yeah, I don't like him.
No, he can't get a shot through from the
You know,
point.
that's what the Nazis said
do with
too.
that. It
They're
has
like we
nothing-
would like these people, but they're horrible at defense. What are we gonna do? Not murder them? Are we not gonna burn a cross on our lawn because they're bad at defense? Come on now, that's crazy.
But look at their offensive stats.
Yeah, exactly. But they're
on,
really
come
fast. What do you want them to do?
Oh, Jesus. All right. So that's DJ Prince.
That's baseball,
baseball, baby. Thank you for
Thank you for having me. It was very fun.
no. You've got 2 great podcasts.
Yeah,
that
I
you
got
do.
2 podcasts. By the way, whatever. We'll talk off air about it. But yeah, I have 2 podcasts. One I do my own that I'm not that serious about, but I post there, Dumb, Stupid, or Dumb. And then the one that I do take seriously is the one with my friend who lives in Colorado, but he's moving here soon. It's called Sis Radio. So go download, subscribe, and listen to those.
Right. Also famous on TikTok.
That's what I was gonna say. You forgot to say it, but yeah,
No,
fuck.
yeah.
Not famous, but I have a following. But don't follow me on there. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TEEJFrancis.
Very good.
Yep.
And I think that's gonna wrap us up. You got anything else?
No,
All right.
Tim's the best name ever.
Yeah, it is now.
Peace.
Tim's kinda dumb. Let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim
Stop.